playtime as well. That was actually Gaming Gear played Renekton twice in the top lane, so definitely still considered as a champion here. We heard Mani saying it would be that objective team.
Especially Chinese teams love Renekton. Bully top laner, great at early dragons. He's amazing for when they group up for those 5-man death squads that people like to talk about. The Chinese teams especially, they'll use the top laner to start off a lot of the action, having him roam down, dive mid for the first kill.
Right.
That'll be hard to do against Faker, as we've seen, but that's a general idea. Get a very strong top laner early, have him come down, create action.
So we have a bit of a protection safety comp here from OMG, which means they can fight more. That's probably what's going to happen. We do see that Pooh may pick up that Nami, very undefeated record for that. And
very undefeated
huge record. Also, the Kennen picked in, which makes me very happy.
Yeah, the 100% there for Mandu on that Nami is impressive. And it was also 100% pick banned up until the finals, Monty said.
Yep.
So definitely going back to one of his favorite supports, as they've already taken the Zyra out.
Let's see what they continue. Vayne being left up quite a bit. We've seen it play somewhat of an impact. We haven't seen the Vayne win game. It hasn't been because of Vayne. It's been about the composition, really. So a lot of people letting that one through. Corki's been quite contested. And we haven't seen a lot of the Triforce champions being banned out. They're just being considered.
And it looks like, OMG might be on that Trinity Force hype train as well.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Corki's going to be going against the Caitlyn of Piglet, who is also, Mandu's got 100% win rate on Nami. He's a 14-1, I believe, on that Caitlyn from the.
He lost once
from the Korean season. Yeah. All right, that's definitely their weak pick. He lost once.
Let's see what they put in. As big as he is, that man is still an assassin, and it looks like they may choose to go for Gragas here, as it does get locked in to the champion select.
All right, so Faker is going to be on a champion where he can roam around very easily. Gragas will shove those lanes with his barrels and then use his body slam to move around the map very quickly. We've also had the Lee Sin lock in there at the last second too, which is one of Bengi's favorites. This is a classic jungle matchup, Lee Sin and Jarvan. Very, very similar champions here. Lee Sin will drop a few more wards than Jarvan because he'll go with the early Sightstone, liking to pull off those flashy plays. Right.
No.
But Bengi, he's not afraid of spending a lot of his gold income on wards for himself and pink wards for his mid lane as well.
Yeah.
This whole SKT team buys lots of pink wards, and they'll be clearing out what they can of all the things Lee Sin's leaving around.
It's easy to say that Bengi will be in the face of OMG, just pretty much taking your wraiths, trying to go around and figure out where you are and be a nuisance in the jungle. But it's just about time for the game to start. So let's take a quick look at who you think is going to win. According to LOLesports.com, 79% of you agree with the analyst that SKT will get the victory here.
That's a very big margin, considering everybody thinks that this clash between the Korean top team and the Chinese, well, we say top team, SKT1 came in with the 3rd seed from Korea, but like I said, they won Summer. OMG coming in with the 2nd seed from China. They won Summer of LPL as well.
Yep.
So these are kind of the top teams from the 2 regions going head to head.
See what they do. Like we said, all our analysts said SKT, so they're coming in strong. Don't change your predictions now. Freak thinks it's cheating, but it's not. You're just doing good research.
Have they disagreed on any yet? I feel like they just all are copying each other. They're all answering the exact same.
Well, we know Crepo tails off of Mani, so it's one and the other, and we'll have to see. But
All
we
right.
are almost into the game here. Game 5 on the day. Yes, it is OMG versus SKT T1, and we are on to the Rift.
All right, I'm going to say this game going to be a little bit more action-packed than the last game.
Just a tad. I'll agree with you on that.
And part of the reason here that SKT1, I think, have a very good chance is because we just saw in that Lemon Dogs game, they love splitting up the team and going for the very early pressure. Bengi sets up a lot of counter ganks and picks for his team by the amount of pink wards that he buys that we were talking about. The vision really, really helps SKT, and you can see them, not only the amount of wards that they buy, but how expertly that they are placed. So they can clear out OMG's vision, and they also set up their own movements.
Oh, man, this is, I'm not sure if he saw
See,
him
they
there.
know they're in here.
That
This is a reverse.
really scary for Faker there. He almost walked into the mid bush. Was caught out there, but now the wards are down. Everybody's got their hard hat on. They figured out where it's going. But now, are they going to formulate something around OMG?
Yeah, this is a reverse of that Lemon Dogs game where SKT1 know OMG are in deep.
So OMG, are they going to rush their red now? They're going to try to
You hear
fly
that
down
bass
through
on
this
the
mid
Gragas
lane.
barrel?
Yeah,
that was
nice.
beautiful. I love being next to the speakers.
Cool, taking a good bit of damage there. Faker pretty much won't be able to follow. But right now, it's just going to be a dance out from both teams. Wards just holding hands across the map. The top side of the map focusing on red. And it's really, they didn't put too much on the bottom side. It's just to know where the jungler is.
Yeah, and you know that
An odd start.
that deep lane ward that OMG got placed is kind of classic Korean warding.
Yeah.
Actually, it's very popular over there. Interesting that SKT actually did not get one of their own down. They're happy with having Kennen go up in that 1 versus 2 situation. OMG, very aware of all the lane matchups they're picking here.
Kennen trying to get to his lane quite fast there, actually, to get a few good pushes on it and try to get himself an advantage of level 2 when he gets into the lane. You can see OMG there maybe having a bit of trouble. We're going to get them locked up and figured out. So in the beginning of the game, pretty much the orthodox wards. We saw wards doubled up on both in front of the red, or the side of the red and back of the red. Top side on the red. So on the red. There's enough red there if you can figure it out. They are at the red buff.
All right.
Distinguish that.
So the information they got from that is going to allow them to go at this Kennen who started the Doran's Blade. So sustain only coming from auto attacks. In a 2 versus 1 situation,
That's danger.
you don't get off a lot of auto attacks.
Right.
So I do like that they're sending their AD in support versus this Kennen here. I mean, as a Kennen enthusiast yourself, would you like going up against a Renekton there? Much rather have that matchup?
Oh, Renekton? Absolutely. Especially if you want to just auto-attack things. Get your Shuriken up, easy W damage all day long. And you actually give Renekton a hard trouble. Then level 6 hits, and the game's over for Kennen. 2 minutes in, we'll have to see what these guys have. See if that kind of threw them off their guard. It looks like nobody's trying to do anything too crazy. But Bengi over here, getting himself in the jungle again, over the Dragon Wall. Looks like he's going to go for that red buff. But he was seen.
So they pinged him out, but they don't really have anyone there to
not
collapse
too much to work.
because Loveland's doing the exact same thing here. You know, both junglers are aware of each other's movements here. And the interesting thing is that going on that Renekton did the wolf camp, so he's up 1 camp at least on Kennen already before he went all the way down to his lane because he just figured, I'd get zoned out anyway. It's a Caitlyn with a Nami there. Nami's so scary when she can get side bush control.
Yep.
Those bubbles, the Aqua Prison, you can dodge them if you see them coming, but man, coming out of the jungle, or coming out of the brush, very, very, very hard.
We'll see how Poohman and Piglet play that bottom lane for them to get that control.
Oh, what do you know?
Already level 1, they knew they had impact back. Forced to flash. You don't take that rush as Kennen to level 1. It looks like he's going to be going down. Very fast Hassan there, and it looks like they may be able to continue. Bengi trying to help. This would be a double buff transfer. He hits the Q. He follows the Sonic Wave, and he gets the safeguard out as well. They've just stolen double buffs.
We talked about this being classic Chinese meta before in the OMG's earlier game. They again pull off another beautiful 3-man tower dive. They had already forced Kennen back once because he was on the Doran's Blade and he wanted to come back with a ward to prevent this situation, but he was just too slow. And OMG, even this time, without a revive passive jungler, with Lee Sin instead, don't hesitate to go for it. Double kill this time, though, and it gives them a huge lead.
They're not going to 4-1.
Oh, Loveland wants more.
Loveland will take him out by himself here. Loveland
No, he
not
won't.
enough. No, he won't.
No,
Bengi just
he
on the
won't.
outside. And they said, wait a minute. That's too good. Hang on.
All right.
Let's take a picture.
We had a lot of action there. They want to take stock of what's happened. San has sort of stopped moving there on that Corki, so that's probably what the pause is. And he's inches away from giving Loveland somewhere to safeguard 2.
Right.
Don't think he's going to be able to get there in time. SKT1 look like they're getting back a kill right here. And possibly that, well, if they get the kill, they'll get the double buff.
And this is Bengi making the right moves now that he had to be flashed out of that. He did go down, and this is Sans mouse problem as well, to update really quickly. We're getting that fixed out. So you kind of need your mouse as an AD carry, or anybody on the map. But we saw Bengi coming back there instantly, knowing that a kill happened in that lane. And some say, you know, the solo queue mentality, if the lane's losing, you leave it. But he came back, and they may get something off of this now, of that persistence.
Yeah, that's a really, really unfortunate time to pause it there. Oh, well. It's still going to be an early lead here for OMG. Even if they are even if SKT is able to answer and
They're
get
true to form and tower
get that
diving.
double buff back, yeah. I mean, we expected before. I was like, oh, great use of Aatrox's passive there. They went for the 3-man dive, and that's why they're still continuing with that strategy. But again, here, very beautifully pulled off, and it was because of that lane switch where he talked about Kennen starting Doran's blade, going back very early, returns to lane level 1, thinks he can walk into lane. Very good job of OMG capitalizing.
And that has to be attributed to the early wards, too. If you see that, know your Kennen's coming with the Dorans, they probably focused on that immediately as well. So just putting all the eggs in the right basket for that chance.
That's why people go for those lane wards by the second turret there, just out of turret range.
All the way back.
So that you can't kill it, but they'll see where you're going.
It's a few extra steps, but if you get it, you see what happens. So we have to wait for these guys just getting on sand, making sure that mouse works great. Perfectly for Corki to get it. He's already got a double kill, so he's trying to carry the team onto this one, but that was because that red buff steal right after it going top lane was huge coming out of Lee Sin, and they were just able to grab that kill in a matter of seconds, not really allowing any of the other team to react, which means now mid lane kind of has to worry because the jungler's getting kills. We already see level 4 Lee Sin in the top, so it's going to be a little bit of every lane for him to get somebody an advantage, and that's going to be pretty big for them.
Yeah, even the duo lane, when Renekton hits 6, he has pretty good all in there when he has his ultimate. As long as he's able to slice and dice to dodge the Aqua Prison, they have a pretty good chance of turning something around, even down in that bottom lane. Just considering how fed Lee Sin's getting this early.
We see these compositions for late game. I know Monty always likes to point out, Gragas on the red side, good for Baron steal. We've seen it before, and it does absolutely happen. It's great to use that as well. But the Gragas and Jarvan composition has been coming out quite a bit. You section somebody out and get the Cataclysm, and we've seen it more than once already at Worlds here.
So it's interesting. They have Gragas, who's going to split the other team apart, and then impact on Kennen here with the area of effect damage. So if they actually split them apart into like a 2-split and a 3-split, that would be ideal, because you want a couple people for that slicing maelstrom, but not too many. So it'll be very interesting how they can combo the
Don't want to waste all the good shocks.
Oh, okay. So they feel like they're ready. We did have Big Pomelo get into range for that safeguard. So the day was saved here by the support. Big Pomelo able to get those few steps that San could not. And a really good job. They're able to capitalize that with the turret as well.
Good damage on the going in the bottom lane.
Wow.
Knowing they can pressure quite hard with that vision in the top. So we're going to see if San got everything matched up. So he has to try that, right, when it comes out. It's not like he can play during pause. So when it goes in, pretty much testing it for a little bit. They got themselves out. They're not talking during these pauses as well. So they weren't formulating who was going to take that safeguard. They weren't formulating who was going to go for the next kill after the flag toss on either side.
You know what Loveland was thinking there, though? He was like, somebody get over here now. I've got about 1 more second to live.
Just glare over at your support. You better
he was like,
move.
Come to me, run over here? Yeah, okay. So we got to stop standing up, too. This is
they're getting ready. So with that top lane, we did say that leaves the double kill coming in big for San. And he's going to be on Corki. We saw what happened with TSM versus Gaming Gear. Wild Turtle got that Lich Bane, got the Triforce at 13 minutes, and there wasn't really coming back for Gaming Gear.
So that's definitely something to note, too. When Gaming Gear had, they were going Trinity Force builds. They had
Ezreal,
Deadly Brother was sneaking a Vamp Scepter in there before he completed his Trinity Force, and actually delayed his rise in power a little bit. So I think that, San, with getting the first 2 kills like that and this huge lead, especially with the global gold from that turret, going to go right for that Trinity Force, try and get that thing as soon as possible, and then they're going to start that roaming death squad that the Chinese like to pull off so much and make use of that early power from the Trinity Force Ezreal.
No, I'm not sure.
Corki.
Right. I'm not sure if Kennen actually hit level 2 in that fight. So what do they do now?
Yeah, he's level 1 still.
Yeah. Can you go back to lane? You can't switch him out of lane because then you're putting him in more death. He's always going to need help, or is that the lane you're kind of like, good luck, brother?
So now comes the point where got to look at how they left the minions. If the Chinese team was very careful, then it won't be pushing too hard. I think it is headed toward SKT's side. So SKT have this decision right now. Do we freeze this lane, just try and last hit at the very end of the minion life, or do we try and shove it back in and then
get it as far as you can
bring
go?
Kennen back down? Usually, you'll like to, if you can defend the dragon and defend your other objectives, just try and freeze it there so that you can get your solo laner back into the game. Get Kennen some levels up so that he'll at least get his ultimate in time for the dragon fight.
And the good thing always about Kennen, you get his Zanyas on him, he can pretty much make an impact in a fight, especially, like we're saying, with the Gragas, with the Jarvan, being able to zone a few people out. And Kennen's ultimate allows him to be safe as well, if you just want to put people on the outside of it. So Impact still not out of it yet, but super hard time. Level 1 with level 4s surrounding him right now constantly in the game. We are in a pause to get Sans mouse fixed. If you're just joining us, we are right now into OMG versus SKT T1 right in the beginning of the early game.
Yeah, and the counterplay there for if they do freeze the lane is either sending your AD and support that are now super beefy with that early damage to go shove down another turret early and just knock them over like dominoes, rotate around to get all of the outer turrets out. Or send in somebody with Lee Sin there for some sneaky plays and assassinate the Kennen who's just trying to freeze the lane. Kennen's very slippery, though, so that would be fairly difficult as he's about to hit level 2 and grab that lightning rush.
All right, so let's take out that mid as well. It's going to be Gragas, Orianna, but they're not matching it like that just yet. They haven't, well, they're matching it like that. They haven't fought each other, I should say, just yet. We can see Go going with that solo experience in the bottom lane. He has got himself a level over them right now and just continuously chugging the potions on top of his Doran shield. He should be safe. It's really the worry for SKT to put pressure on this lane to keep it off of Impact.
Yeah, and Go going is doing his best down there, just trying to CS under turret. Caitlyn, anything lane. 2 versus 1 is very hard to keep your turret safe because of the long range. But when it's paired with Mandu's Nami, who lands almost all of his Aqua Prisms I've seen. He's so good at landing those. It's even more dangerous because if Renekton does ever go aggressive, even try and stun her or anything, then he can take an Aqua Prism to the face. By the way, a lot of people, the reason that Aqua Prism is so hard to land, even short range, is because it still has the same travel time as a full range Aqua Prism.
Yeah.
So it just kind of floats
you
there.
Think it's going to get there?
It's unnerving the first couple times, but once you get used to it.
Oh no, the Tempest first. He won't get the slow on that he wanted there, and he will be slowed by Bengi. So a bit of a finger fumble Rooski there coming in on the gank for Loveland. We're probably going to get the kill off it, but good aggression.
Yeah, Bengi's happy with that one. He got his ward down, and he got to be able to leave, but Loveland dropping that pinks there. One-ups him with the power of wards. Pink ward trumps green every time.
So those 2 kills are the only ones sitting on the board. It doesn't look like too much of an advantage besides the turret, which is pretty good, was taken off of it. You're always moving off of something after you get the aggression. Oh, he great beautiful all the way back to the turret. He got some airtime on that one. Cool's going to be going down, and Faker with a beautiful play by himself. Bengi getting the standard help on the assist.
That's really all you can say. There's a beautiful play by Faker because that was just him catching out Cool. All right, he missed an Aqua Prison. Bets off.
Good
but
Lord.
Yeah, Faker, that was just a beautiful ultimate at the perfect time. And he got the last auto attack off with his giant belly in motion before the shockwave could pull him out of range. Faker, he just jumped on that before he even had Bengi in position for the gank because he saw the opening there. Sometimes you don't want to have to wait for your jungler. If you have the perfect Gragas ultimate that can knock him into a turret like that, you just take it. Take the shot.
We saw Bengi there soaking up some experience on it as well. Faker feeling very confident in that play now. You see it happen once. The guy has a chalice, bought the Fiendish on the way back. So he did that with his first rank ultimate and positioning. Great play coming in. It's going to be worrisome now for Cool. Cool wasted flash on that one and his ultimate, so he's got safety to come into that lane. Go-going pressuring onto Impact, and this is still 6-4. I'd figure Go-going would be going a little bit harder on Impact right now, but it looks like he's giving him an easy time.
Hey, he got the level 6 there.
Yep.
Goes into trade after he's built up his Fury. That's really when you want to go aggressive there with Renekton, when you can get off 2 empowered abilities.
Oh, I thought Faker was going to go for a steal. He stays back off. Good smart move by him. The blue going over to Cool, which definitely needs right now. Getting his farm out with the ball is going to give him the distance and safety from Faker, who wants those kills over and over again. Pink wards being placed all the way down the river and just above as well. And we can see that's going to catch
this right here.
Faker
that we're
going back up.
I just want to note right here. This is what I was talking about. It's not about how many wards you buy. It's about where you place them.
Yep.
Bengi, every pink ward he's played so far, killing a green.
Sand being forced back there. Piglet throwing a trap down right on himself, so the Valkyrie couldn't happen. Level 1 ult, definitely not going to be enough, but a lot of the actions that these lanes are taking are to pressure them out and get the advantage.
And SKT had a mid lane ward here, but Cool is going to be in position to pull off a little attack. It won't really be a gank, as the rest of his team can't help with any damage. Corki and Zyra were chunked so low previous to that roam that there was not much follow-up damage from them, and that's why Piglet and Mandu were not very scared of that roam.
Right before that fight, you saw Bengi with impact up there in the top. Oh, Loveland taking some damage and gets hit back once again. He says, yes, we can do this. But Cool just around the corner keeps Loveland alive, and he's quite thankful for it.
Great counter gank set up there by Bengi, waiting in the wings, but they weren't able to burn anything.
Right.
A substantial flash down here for Loveland.
Faker allowing these blues to just go, still knowing he has the aggression, that drunken rage on, going to give him a bit of those resistances. But his 2 spells definitely a little bit more powerful show than what Cool has coming out here.
Yeah, so Faker on Gragas. Gragas already has his own mana regen with the drunken rage, but he's also rushed the Chalice. So he's fine giving that away to Jarvan. It does give Bengi extra experience, but it's very important to have cooldown reduction on Jarvan so that he can pull off more sneaky ganks, getting the EQ combos.
Pings going down in the bottom lane for SKT. I feel like something may be coming here, and they do have eyes right now. Actually, that's Loveland's ward, so they do not have eyes on him just yet. They only have close wards, and they may get the 3-man dive.
So this is a little bit more dangerous of a turret dive, but we have dual level 6s.
Quite big. Where's the Aqua Prison to come out? Piglet goes down. Stranglethorn could get him just on the edge. Is there a kill there? The barrier comes up, and it's going to be the resonating strike from Loveland.
Did you see that? Loveland
I saw that.
A pink ward. He used, that was not a waste.
Not a waste.
Let me rephrase that. He used the pink ward right there just for the jump to make that play happen.
Jat was saying, with these teams, the Chinese and the Koreans, the mid laners, the junglers pick up a lot more pink wards. We can see it here. We saw it affect the game just a bit ago. And once again, connection on the Sonic Wave and resonating strike to harass and aggress down to the SKT. OMG in a very good position right now.
Loveland doing a great job getting both of his side lanes going here. He was lauded as basically the best, if not the second best support in China, and having moved over to jungle. See, that was the pink ward he used just to get in position for this kick, and Piglet doesn't have enough movement gap closers left to get out of the range of that Zyra ultimate. It was just a beautiful Zyra ultimate placement, long enough so that the 90 caliber net wouldn't get him out of the range, and then another resonating strike dead on there for Loveland.
I could just feel Loveland smashing his Q. He wanted to hit the ground out of that bubble so hard, and he got it and ran with it. 11.5 minutes into this, it's just about a 2.5K gold lead. Faker again simply pressuring Cool out of lane.
These are the mechanics that people are always citing with the Chinese teams, because they often they seek out these fights so early and so often. They have a lot of practice pulling off the moves like that.
And I'm not getting dove if I'm alone. I'm Gragas. I can knock people out. So they've taken a team with that knowledge that OMG wants to be living under their turrets.
Yeah, Faker's definitely the lane that's saying, I'm not taking any of this aggression. He's the one here for SKT that feels completely comfortable. And it looks like, even Impact, though, we talked about how behind he was early. He's okay at this point in the top lane. He's been able to at least CS. He does have to use his ulti defensively, but using that range advantage, he's still able at least to keep up in CS, and he's not getting shut out by Go-Go.
As long as he doesn't get hit by a slice and dice. He will fare quite well. Still that 2,000 gold lead. It was closed just a little bit by about 500 gold. Piglet waiting in the fog of war slightly, but he may get seen here. They didn't have enough vision to really want to orchestrate anything there, so they back off slowly. Looks like we'll get Faker going with that blue buff. This will be the first one he is going to grab.
Close.
Very close.
He did get it.
Knowing that Smite is down.
That also gave him level 11.
Smite, rather.
This is now level 2 Gragas ultimate for this dragon fight.
Coming in from the side, he gets a good Q onto Cool. Safety to Loveland. They do have the shields right there, and they have quite a few shields to work with. Looks like everybody's going to back off the objective for now. Meet it up in mid lane.
That was a really good job backing off by OMG there, because by giving that blue buff over to Faker, popping him up to level 11 is a huge, huge spike for Gragas, and that ultimate would have been just devastating inside of the Dragon Pit here. All these pink wards that we talked about, 1, 2, 3, around the dragon and leading to the dragon, paying off for SKT. Now, this bush right here, so-called banana bush, as you can see, since it's curved, the line of sight of that pink ward is broken by the wall, so it doesn't actually get vision of that.
Good pressure. Oh, the ultimate shockwave going down. They may be able to take out Bengi, but there is the retort. They are going to go back, and it's just the wave to disperse the fight. Bengi gets out alive.
So they hesitate to tower dive for once. Don't go in to finish off on that Jarvan. Too worried about
not good enough for him, though.
SK team. They were able to chunk down the Jarvan, so that means no smite. That's why they're confident now going for this one.
Looks like that was quite helpful for them, but it looks like they will put the 4 strong towards middle. They will not. They will just go back into the jungle. They say, we know this one going to OMG, the 3-1 lead, something that SKT is going to have to deal with right now. Faker with the only kill in the game because of his play in mid.
And people always talk about, oh, these Chinese teams love fighting, and they love diving, and they love going for all these kills very early. But OMG, after the turret dives top, they took a top turret. After the turret dives bottom, they took the bottom turret. Right there, they did not go for the dive, and they got Dragon.
Looks like Gloveland getting damaged pretty quick. They go in hard on him. That means a lot of the initiation is there. Backing off for those cooldowns. The gap closers waiting to come back up. But they got what they wanted, and they make their way out.
So that was a little too close for comfort there for Loveland. But what I was going to say right there at the end is that OMG are prioritizing those objectives. And that's sort of what got them to the top of the LPL.
Right. They aren't just diving. They're diving when they know it's going to be something that will give them more. Seeing you can go right on. I don't know. He knows Bengi is there. And actually, I think he could take this fight himself. Level 10 to level 8 in the jungle right there. And Impact has had a hard time getting items, but he is level 10. We'll have to see what he can start doing for him and his team. Trying to finish up that Zanya's, which means the fight will be even bigger for SKT. And I really think they're trying to hold off for that as well. They may not exactly want to fight right now.
They are definitely trying to hold off now, because the counterplay that I talked about to a freezing lane is trying to shove down another objective like the Dragon or one of those bottom turrets. The only other objective that they can go for is Faker's turret. And Faker's protecting that turret very well. So SKT feel very confident. They can have Impact freeze this lane up here. Faker is in trouble.
Faker going hard on the cool, but Loveland was right there. I think Faker realized that with the amount of play that was still going into it. Gets himself out with a body slam, but flashes, ignites, were burned there. We'll have to see if they keep going. Going so close to getting caught up there.
Yeah, Mandu saved the day right there. Faker's still sitting around with very low HP, just trying to throw the barrels. And they are going for his turret.
They're taking so much damage off of going really deep here. Finally getting the turret, but they're answering back with a bit of their own.
That was a great job by OMG, making SKT pay for freezing the lane, not having Kennen there. They did go for the other objective that was available. Even though Dragon and bottom turret were gone, they now have the entire outer ring taken. So that means it's now Lee Sin's time to shine, dropping his wards all over the enemy jungle so that they can pressure Bengi's buffs now.
And the way they're orchestrating these fights are just working out so well. In most fights that we'd see, that dive would have been considered, not happening, and everybody would have backed off. But OMG stayed there, aggression on the turret, not allowing SKT to come back. So they're doing very well in the mindset of same thing, keeping that lead ahead, not allowing anybody to come back. Cool, still holding his own in the mid lane, keeping up in CS, but down 2 in kills. You can see the burst coming from Faker here. He is respecting that fully.
Yeah, both mid laners going with the Athenes and Holy Grail for that magic resistance. Some very, very high respect between both mid laners here.
Right.
Faker is definitely known for going full offensive in runes, masteries, and build because he just has the play to back that sort of build up. He has gone a little bit more defensive this time around, getting the early magic resist, but now straight into that initially large rod.
So the kills slowed down somewhat. OMG not really on the dive anymore, seeing that kind of defensive composition come about here from SKT. They are still getting the turrets, but the dives aren't as big.
And this is the next buff coming up. Blue buff here, very important for both of these guys. OMG rotating down. Kennen is furthest away, so SKT are backing off.
Besides the first buff, everyone has been contested so far, and Loveland grabs that one up as well. OMG is going to walk out of the jungle with this. They went on that just with the vision of them moving. They didn't have the ward yet until they got there.
You know, they denied it from Faker. That's pretty big. They weren't able to put it on Corki, who is actually their preferred blue buff holder right now, even over Orianna, because Corki, post level 11, when his ultimate is level 2, it's extremely strong, and cooldown reduction speeds up the time at which you can acquire new rockets, so you charge them up faster, and you can also shoot them faster. It reduces the shoot time for them. So his power spike with cooldown reduction is huge. Not to mention all the mana regen that he'll get, and he'll literally.
That's a good thing. And sometimes something people don't consider much is that cooldown also means more damage because you get to do it more, as long as you have the mana. Bengi with Loveland just in the shadows. He will connect, and he will say, "I'm here." 5-5. All right, disperse. 3-2. 20 minutes coming in here. OMG now on the second tier of every lane in turrets, and SKT trying to hold that off, but still waiting for that composition to come about. The Zhonya's is now finished, but Impact is being forced to always cover this top lane, so they can't really get use out of the Kennen AoE, along with the Gragas AoE, along with the Bengi. So they're waiting for those fights still.
Yeah, and it's really, that top lane is just Impact just scratching for CS, just trying to hold off this Renekton up there. He's been able to get himself back up to even.
Yeah, what's been done, he's fared quite well.
But the minion wave is always pushed to the turret, and it allows OMG one lane that's continually pushed, so they get the vision, and they constantly have the pressure on that top turret, enabling them to make moves in this bottom side jungle. They're just taking complete control of the vision over here, setting themselves up for another double blue buff situation.
20 minutes into this game, some fantastic CS over on
Cool.
Cool.
Face check.
There it is. As the Shockwave come into the Stranglethorn, pops them up, but there's not enough to finish. Oh, he flashes the wall. The Slicing Maelstrom to enter back into the fight. This is Impact getting himself in. The Zhonya's coming into play, but is there the burst damage to take him out? There is. They finalize the kill. Bengi's in and out of his own Cataclysm. Piglet on the outside without the range to get the damage down yet, but now they're able to kite. Going, trying to make his way into the fight. Loveland, gets taken out by the left side barrel. The hook barrel from Faker, the no-looker. Going still in pursuit of the fight. Bengi very low. Piglet trying to kite as much as he can. Cool just on the backside. He's not shielding Going. Throw the shield on him. He didn't have it. He put it on Sand. Oh my gosh, but they still come up with the kills.
What? Okay, so they sacrificed the life of the Croc there for Sand. Sand was able to pick up another kill.
It was a good choice
off of that.
It was a good choice.
In retrospect, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. Faker had checked with his barrel. That's why he was confident walking into that. But Loveland right there, he tries to jump 2 inches to this ward, and Faker hopping over the wall. Right now, Impact is going to just get bursted because Loveland already landed his Sonic Wave. Yeah, and then again, the no-look Faker barrel over there to finish off Loveland. It was very well played by SKT. They need to get trades, because they are behind at this point. So they're looking to try and get some way to even just get a few more seconds on the clock here.
Oh man, both teams clawing each other's eyes out in that fight. Both of the kill scores going up. 32,000 to 28,000 right now. You see that 4K gold lead coming into play that OMG has held pretty much all game so far, and it started with the pressure on Impact in the top lane. They needed to find it somewhere, and they did. We'll have to see if it's enough to take the game.
It's been such a beautiful battle of vision in this game because both of the junglers have been putting so much emphasis on their wards and clearing out the opponent's vision so that they can come up with all of these insane picks. And Loveland's just done such a good job of going for his tower dives after he has knowledge of Bengi's movements so that they don't get turned around. Both times his turret dives, he was just a step ahead of Bengi. Before Bengi could arrive, they were able to pull off the kill. And he's just been so close to being able to counter that.
They're playing us a song right now. I swear. 23 minutes into this one, everybody's getting their ping fingers out. We'll have to see what they can continue to do. Nobody wants any part of the map, but they sure are pinging it a lot. So they're saying, don't go there is the word. There's a stop sign they've covered it with. Looking at the items here, Triforce to Infinity Edge now. Piglet getting his Caitlyn into position to really start carrying the game. But the fights are always moving. None of the AD carries have had a big impact.
And right now, the AD carry here for SKT's got his Infinity Edge.
Yep.
So Piglet at least will have the possibility of coming in with some large crits.
Well,
Up till this point, it's been all San. San getting an early double kill and turrets because of the very strong early gank there from Loveland. Just meant that this has been his show for the first 20.
His show at OMG's jungle. They're moving around constantly to make sure there are no wards. They're not just saying, we own the jungle, we may escape on a ward and they'll see us. They're making sure there's nothing there whatsoever. And the wards that SKT has managed to get by them or by Dragon are ones that aren't affecting the game right now.
And OMG have had Renekton up top split pushing for the most part, and keeping Kennen up there is a pretty good trade-off because then they don't have to deal with the slicing Maelstrom disrupting their squishier targets. But now even they've had San split pushing down bottom because he is so strong in that Corki right now. They're feeding even more minions onto him, trying to get him up to Cool's level.
Faker still with his team's only 4 kills and a participation in 19 out of the 20 in their first game. So Faker, like Monty said, Faker, playmaker. It is a true story.
It is a true story. It is also risky having all your money on Gragas.
Yeah, it's true. We've talked about that.
If Gragas misses his combo, his ultimate, if he just misses his ultimate or only hits, say, one person with his ultimate, even if he doesn't miss, they can still lose that team fight because so much of the money is concentrated on Faker. If Faker does not hold true to his name and he does not perform amazingly with his ultimate, then it's going to be very, very hard for SKT to come out in one of these team fights where OMG, with the way that they execute them so beautifully, are not going to let that lack of damage go.
We see our first, not attempt at Baron, but that thought. They are getting some wards down, making sure everything is clean, cut, and dry at the objective dance. A minute and 50 left for Dragon. It's gone back and forth so far. SKT, looks like they have their levels up as well. A lot of 15s, level 11, level 10 in the jungle. So these fights in the favor right now of SKT with the gold lead and a bit of that level lead.
And it's getting very scary for SKT now because Going is getting so tanky that he will be able to dive to the back line. He's going to be just going after Piglet with the objective of just disrupting the auto attacks from the Infinity Edge Caitlyn. If he can get her running most of the time and just disrupt the auto attacks that are coming from her, then the rest of his team is not going to have to worry about that much damage. It's just going to be the AoE magic damage.
Ooh.
Wow!
Yeah, and that's how fast it happened.
Okay, so that happened. There's no more support on the table. Beautiful job by Cool.
Faker even
He
tried.
did. So this is the thing, though. He uses Shockwave.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that is at least a cooldown, a very important cooldown that won't be here for OMG.
It is a very big cooldown because a lot of what happens with SKT is displacement, is allowing your team to pinpoint that one person. So if Cool can't ring them back in and allow his team to get to safety, they may not even want to fight this one either. We can see him clearing the camps. Loveland actually has worn a path in the jungle. He's not been fighting anybody lately. He's been clearing wards with an Oracle. And I guarantee he's made that money back so far because he is left and right.
SKT
But here,
the bad spot.
they do want to engage. Stranglethorn goes down. That is a huge dissonance in ball movement coming in from Cool. But they all get pushed back. Cool just went for another ride, and now they may be able to engage. Piglet, Faker, and Impact now grouped together. But it's Going coming in. The Shockwave misses. Everybody was out of range of Going, but the damage is still there. OMG is putting fear into SKT.
Now Piglet's really far in front here.
These guys still trying to engage / back off, and they finally figured out that they don't want to fight anymore. It's 2-1. Loveland's down, and that's really been an impact of their playmaking.
Okay, so SKT right there, what they were looking for is an opportunity to get back in this game by picking someone off, and that's why they went for that fight overextending. The reason that they did that is because of all the work that Loveland did clearing out the vision in this lizard side jungle for them. They had no idea that Renekton and Zyra were going to come from the top and flank them. They were just looking at what's in front of them with all the vision that they had, everything, all the information that was available to them. They felt like this was the point for them to make their move, get back in. But because Go-Going had not recalled and he was still there, they were able to turn it around.
All right, Kobe, so I got to say it right. Lee Sin did pick up the Sight Stone, and he is going to be putting more wards down than Jarvan. So you got me there.
I gotcha. He also is getting more oracles.
Yeah, that's a guaranteed as well.
However, Jarvan has the aura item. So he's bringing to the table area of effect magic resist and a little shield.
Yep. See what comes into play if they even have Bengi in the next fight. It has been OMG trying to pick off SKT at any given time. Still moving in a pack. In the top lane, you have Go-Going and Loveland, both good at gap closing, both good at taking out somebody by themselves. But together, that is a huge force. With Caitlyn in the bottom lane, we're seeing pings for a Baron dance here. Make sure it's clear, make sure they may be able to do something in a few minutes.
And the play that SKT is going to have to rely on here is going to come from Faker. And he's the one with the burst damage. He's the one with the surprise abilities. Everyone else on that team is fairly predictable damage. Caitlyn's gone auto attack build where it's the classic Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer.
That maximum potential damage.
Yeah, the later game crit damage there. Just wants to be constantly firing auto attacks. And Kennen has, true to most Kennens, has rushed that Hourglass, which is not a huge damage spike. And it also, you know, while it's safer, it does root you in place.
Give the team a little bit of time to assess the fight, as well as let Kennen's cooldowns get out and come up. But that's going to be a big focus when he goes in if that Greg Assault cannot disperse. A lot of things have to happen for SKT here to get into these fights. But OMG is probably going to make that happen for him. They're just going to have to react quickly enough. 45,000, 45.5 now to 38.5. So you're seeing a 7,000 gold lead. It has not gotten any smaller. SKT has not been able to close that yet.
And Corki has stacked on top of his Trinity Force and Infinity Edge of
damage.
his own.
Just damage.
And another BF sword that will probably be turned into some lifesteal BT.
And he's also grabbed up the Sork boots for himself.
Yeah, that was an interesting move. You know that they went with in Korea. I favor those boots of lucidity because of that cooldown reduction I talked about, helping out his ultimate so much. Really, the attack frames that you save on firing those missiles from cooldown reduction actually increases your DPS a lot.
All right, we'll see what he can pull out with the Sork boot purchase. Looks like he may be trying to finally go for a Vamp Scepter after that. Get his Bloodthirster in, because he does not really have too much sustain right now other than what he's running in runes. You can see him standing back very far. The team may be spread out, but you can see he's still behind the line of offense that his team is creating. Looks like everybody to move around. I think they're playing each other right now, saying, you're not going to do Baron. We're not going to do Baron. Let's just farm things.
Well, OMG look like their game plan is continually pick people off.
Right.
They don't feel like tower diving as we've seen like they did earlier in the game.
Yeah.
They only pulled that off because they felt so confident in Loveland's ability to predict where Bengi was. At this point, the tower dive is very risky. They know that they have a very good lead, and they don't want to just throw it away under a turret. So they're doing their best to just use the vision advantage that they've already gained to continue to increase their gold lead and open up the opportunity to, again, catch more people from SKT off guard here. This is really going to turn into a point where someone makes a bad rotation, and that few seconds is going to cost a Baron, or that will be the dive, or that will be the turret.
I mean, you have to consider the longer a game ever goes for a losing team, it's almost helping them out.
And yeah, it really is. The gold leads mean less, as people always say, as you get later and later into the games, because the relative difference in power gets smaller. You know, the reason that they have Faker continually coming down here to clear out this bottom lane, which is furthest away from Baron, is because Faker is Gragas, like we talked about his mobility. He uses his body slam to immediately get out of vision of OMG. Even though he's not up with the rest of the team at Baron, he's not in OMG's vision. So they don't feel confident enough to go for that Baron. And that threat of a Gragas ability combo steal is so big. Red side Gragas, like you said, one of the scariest at stealing Baron. It's way up. It's right up there with the red side Lux.
Or the Janet Tornado.
Or the level 1 the level 1 Janet Tornadoes coming from Bloodwater.
33 minutes into this 5th matchup here at Worlds. It is OMG versus SKT. If you've missed the first part of the game, it has been quite back and forth. The kills have slowed down up from a level 1 engagement on Impact in the top lane. They went at him twice as a level 1 cannon, and that has just built this game up to now. 33 minutes in, a 7,000 gold lead that OMG has been able to work off of that. Faker has had big plays in mid, but right now it's about this Baron.
So Going's trying to divert SKT's attention to red buff as they're taking Baron, and they don't get the vision in time.
Huge plays here coming in. They do get the Baron. It's going to be going to Sam, but they haven't jumped over the wall. Going's going to hold him. Impact throws down his ultimate, but doesn't get the Zhonya's in time. He was exploded. Going goes down. The Gragas ultimate displaces the team, but the command protect is there, and they are trying to continue. Faker's coming into this one pretty healthy, and he's dodged most of the danger.
Woo! That burst from Trinity Force Corki right there caught Impact off guard. He was not quick enough to pop his Zhonya's and just went down instantly. Trading 1 for 2, they're actually able to get a Baron.
Let's check this out.
So yeah, this is Going. He's going deep, and nobody else can get over the wall quick enough until he's already been chunked down. That was the pop of Kennen, but Faker flashing out of that shockwave meant that he was able to come back in here, and nothing else was gained for OMG. They did come out 2 for 1 there, but they did lose one of their Baron buffs.
OMG playing this so smart. We actually just saw San chasing Faker out of that blue buff area so they could grab it. During that fight, it was only San and Faker that were level 18. There were level 14s in that fight. I believe Piglet was 16. Others were 14. This 12 still coming in for Bengi. So the damage that San is doing is also just scaled by his levels right now. His items, just a bag of chips.
Yeah, well, it was all that damage that helped them take the Baron down so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
That was very, very strong call from OMG, going to just try and rush that Baron down versus that Gragas team. Taking advantage of the lack of vision there, the small lapse where you can only put so many wards over Baron before OMG either picks one of you off, or you have to give up the vision for a small amount of time, and they were able to just take it quick enough.
And really, OMG is playing the multitask game. They're saying, SKT, can you do this? Can you do this? You know, they're doing Baron. Let's throw one of our players at 4 of yours. And that was huge play, like you said, by Going. And OMG is keeping that mentality just on the ball.
I mean, that's why OMG often takes all these champions with dashes. We just saw there, Corki and Lee Sin jumping back over to back up Going so that they were able to go even in that fight. If they had to stop that Baron quicker before they were able to finish it off, they could easily catch someone out. Throw a Zyra root over the back of Baron as they're trying to ward in, and a Lee Sin plus Renekton plus Corki jumping over the wall with an Orianna ball on them means that they have their full damage potential right at the edge of the Baron wall, and it's so dangerous for SKT even to get near that wall to ward over. That's why, you know, they had to give up that small amount of time. Couldn't see the Baron.
So OMG doing what they can to keep it consistent. Looking at the towers, we are 4-2. We always say that OMG has been taking towers after they are getting the advantage in a fight, after they are doing something, and we haven't seen too much of that just yet. That last Baron fight left everybody pretty injured, so not too much was done off of that. But look at SKT, still feeling confident against the Baron OMG to pretty much waltz themselves right out to mid.
So they saw Orianna down bottom, and they know that they still need to get small picks.
Yeah.
Like, even if they traded again, another kill for a kill, they'd be getting at least another Baron buff off of the map right now. So they're edging up a little bit, but they don't want to overextend here. This is very uncharacteristic of OMG, I have to say. Like, coming into this, everyone's hyping up how they're so ready. They're always ready to go for the fights and the tower dives, but they just have so much respect for this SKT1 team that they aren't rushing into it, and they don't want to throw this early lead. Like we said, SKT T1 so heavily favored in this tournament. Taking a game off them, even for OMG, who is also a favorite,
what did the analysts
would be
pick
an
again?
upset. Yeah.
That's right.
I think they.
Oh, you guys. 11-6 here as we are 38 minutes into the matchup, and the gold lead has spread to 10 2,000 gold right now. That's a few completed items on separate members of the team, which definitely starts to get scary. Sometimes the gold lead does kind of go down. It doesn't go down, but it means less. But right now, at 38 minutes, it's going to mean a lot. It's going to have to be another 15-minute spread for SKT to get those full items in and really start to make a bigger impact on these fights.
And like I said, I think we're going to see more of the same here from OMG because they don't really have a super hard engage, but they do catch Faker. And again,
that was a great flash.
Flashes the shockwave. That's the second time this game. Third time. Flashing shockwaves all day.
All day. 38. The time is ticking very slowly. I'm pretty sure it was 38 last time I said that. 4-2 in turrets here. We still see the wards coming out now, top side being considered for SKT.
Okay, here's the rotation.
Impact getting hit up pretty good in the bottom lane, and this has been the story of almost every fight that poked before. Getting in, Faker on the outside, he tries to come in from the same spot he just flashed from, which means it was already warded. Now he's on the chase, but this is diverting OMG away from the turret now. They're stopping them from the aggression. A good dodge onto that one. Faker trying to get the blue suede shoes on to get out of this. It looks like he's just going to stand tall, but stand tall on the ground.
And 3v4 up there, the rest of the team fight going for OMG. The Corki just so ridiculously strong right now, and Cool pulled off another combo right there. He didn't even have his shockwave back up from Faker still, but they were able to come out with another 2 kills on top of chasing down Faker. This one is definitely going to be an inhibitor turret. OMG. Just looking still, but they were able to come out with another 2 kills on top of chasing down Faker. This one is definitely going to be an inhibitor turret. OMG just looking very, very strong right now.
We got a good amount of time on that death chamber for Faker at 30 more seconds. Bengi not going to make too much of an impact on his res.
Oh,
he is coming up. Piglet just on the outside gets taken down, and that is a shutdown for him.
Now they're just going to go on Nexus turrets here. They've got 3 main members still down. Death chambers too long.
Going in Impact, trying to make a big play here. He throws down the Zanyas, but maybe a little too early. Everyone was able to walk out. He gets zeroed, surgically removed from the map. There goes San with the double kill coming in. The Nexus is open. It's over an 11,000 gold lead of OMG to take out SKT T1.
Beautiful play there, and very little reaction.